Imagine waking up in a world where the greatest war in history never happened. No bombs falling from the sky, no cities erased overnight, no moment where humanity realized how close it came to destroying itself. Just a quiet timeline, and a question most people never dare to ask. Would that world have saved us, or slowly undone us? Because the world we live in today was shaped by a single global trauma. World War II didn't just redraw borders. It reshaped power, technology, fear, and memory. But here's the uncomfortable part. What if it never happened? No global war, no atomic bomb, no Cold War as we know it. Would the world be more peaceful, or simply broken in a quieter way? To understand that world, we need to rewind. Before World War II, tension was already building everywhere. Economies were collapsing. Empires were unstable. Extremist ideologies were spreading quietly, convincing people they had all the answers. The war didn't create these problems. It exposed them. It forced them into the open. So if the war never happened, those pressures wouldn't disappear. They would evolve, silently, unevenly, and possibly more dangerously. Without World War II, Europe would likely remain the center of global power for much longer. Colonial empires wouldn't collapse overnight. Decolonization would slow down. Entire nations might never gain independence when they did, or at all. History would move, but unevenly. The United States would still grow, but not as fast, not as dominant, and without the shared trauma of total war, cooperation between nations would be weaker. There would be no United Nations as we know it. No global institutions born from fear of repeating the same mistake. Power wouldn't be balanced. It would be fragmented. And fragmented power has a habit of creating quiet conflicts instead of loud ones. War accelerates innovation. World War II pushed technology forward by decades. Radar, jet engines, early computing, nuclear physics. Without the war, these breakthroughs wouldn't vanish. They would arrive slowly, more cautiously, without urgency. The digital world we live in today might still exist, but delayed. A different internet, a slower pace, a more distant relationship with machines. Technology wouldn't feel like a race. It would feel like a negotiation. And then there's the most profound difference of all. No Hiroshima, no Nagasaki. And without that moment of terror, humanity might never have learned how close it can come to ending itself. Without World War II, the atomic bomb might never be built, or at least not when it was. That means no nuclear standoff, no Cold War defined by mutual destruction. But it also means something deeply unsettling. Fear would not unify the world. Sometimes, fear is what stops us from going further than we should. World War II scarred humanity. It forced societies to confront obedience, propaganda, and the cost of blind belief. Without that reckoning, certain ideas might survive longer. Extremism wouldn't be discredited the same way. Propaganda would feel less dangerous. Power would go less questioned. Peace wouldn't feel earned. It would feel accidental. A world without World War II wouldn't necessarily be better. It might be quieter, more comfortable. But comfort has a dangerous side. Because when history doesn't hurt, we stop paying attention. The same forces would still exist beneath the surface, unresolved, unchallenged, waiting. So the real question isn't whether the world would be better. It's whether humanity would be wiser. Would you rather live in a world that never learned its hardest lesson, or in one that paid a terrible price to learn it? Tell me what you think in the comments. Welcome to What If? History plus Lab.